Welcome to our lecture online. Our next example is a cardioid defined by r equals 1 plus the cosine of theta. And we're trying to find the whole length of that particular curve. So again, we know that the length can be found by taking the integral from a to b. In this case, would be all the way around the curve. That would be the limits of the variable theta. And we're going to find the function squared plus the derivative function squared, put underneath the square root symbol, take the integral, and that should give us the length. So r is defined as the function of theta. In this case, the function of theta is equal to 1 plus the cosine of theta. The derivative, f prime of theta, is equal to the derivative of this. And let's see here, the derivative cosine is a negative sign, so it would be the negative sine of theta. And now we have everything we need to plug into our integral right here. So the length is equal to the integral. What about the limits? Well, let's see here. With a cardioid, we start at 0. At 90 degrees, we get 1. That would be right here. At 180 degrees, we get 0. At 270 degrees, we get minus 1. Actually, let's see here. No, that would be plus 1 again. And then at 360. So it turns out we have to go all the way around the circle. The limits of integration will be from 0 to 2 pi. 0 to 2 pi times the square root of the function squared. The function is 1 plus the cosine of theta. We have to square that. So we have 1 plus the cosine of theta squared plus the derivative of the function squared, which is right here. So plus the minus sine of theta. We have to square that times d theta. All right, let's go ahead and do that and see what we end up with. So the length is equal to the integral from 0 to 2 pi of the square root of, squaring this, we get 1 plus this squared, which is the cosine square of theta, plus twice the product of the two, so plus 2 times the cosine of theta, plus this one squared, plus the sine square of theta, and times d theta. All right, so we have the cosine squared plus the sine squared, that adds up to 1, and 1 plus 1 gives us 2, so this becomes L is equal to the integral from 0 to 2 pi of the square root of 2 plus 2 times the cosine of theta, d theta. Now we can factor out a 2, and of course the square root of 2 actually, so we can put that in front. So this is equal to the square root of 2 times the integral from 0 to 2 pi. And we're left with, in the radical, 1 plus the cosine of theta, d theta. All right, how do we deal with that one? Well, I think what we can do here is use this relationship. We can say that the cosine square of theta is equal to 1/2 times 1 plus the cosine of twice the angle. Okay? So, if I now multiply both sides by 2, I can say that 2 times the cosine square of theta is equal to 1 plus the cosine of 2 theta. All right, so if I now replace 1 plus the cosine of theta, so I can say here is that 2 times the cosine square of theta divided by 2 is equal to 1 plus the cosine of theta. So I simply reduce each angle by 2, and now I have something that looks exactly what I have over here, but now when I replace that by this, I can go ahead and get rid of that radical. That's the idea. So L is equal to the square root of 2 times the integral from 0 to 2 pi, and the square root of, I end up with 2 times the cosine squared of theta divided by 2, d theta. Now notice that I can pull out a square root of 2 again, and I can take the radical of the cosine squared, so this becomes equal to 2 times the integral from 0 to 2 pi. The square root, that gives me the cosine of theta divided by 2 d theta. All right, now I'm almost ready to integrate that, except I have a cosine of a half angle, so I need 1/2 d theta. So I'm going to multiply this times 1/2, but then to compensate for it, I have to multiply this times 2. So now I'm ready to integrate. So now I can say that the length is equal to 4 times When I integrate that, the integral of the cosine would be the sine, so that would be 4 times the integral, not the integral because I'm integrating, I don't need the integral sign anymore. So when I integrate, I get 4 times the sine of theta divided by 2, evaluated from 0 to 2 pi. Now, there's a bit of a problem with that. Because if I now plug in the limits, if I plug in the upper limit, notice that 1/2 of 2 pi is pi, the sine of pi is 0, and when I plug in the lower limit, I get 0. I get 0 minus 0 is 0, so apparently the length would be 0, which we know cannot be the case. However, what I could do instead is I could simply, because of the symmetry, I could integrate just half the angle and double that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do half the angle, so I'm making another adjustment. Let's see what color I can use for that, see if this green works. So I'm going to go from 0 to pi instead of from 0 to 2 pi and double it again, like this. So when I do that, I'm going to get 4 times 2, and instead of 2 pi, I'm only going to go to pi. So that's how I get around the fact that since I plug in 2 pi here, I end up with something where I go all the way in a circle. I end up in the same place where I started, and therefore I don't get the full accounting of the length of that curve. But this way I will be able to do so. So this now becomes equal to 8 times the sine of pi divided by 2, or theta divided by 2, and I go from 0 to pi. When I plug in the lower limit, I get nothing, but when I plug in the upper limit now, notice pi divided by 2, and take the sine of that, that's equal to 1, so this would be equal to 8 times 1, which is equal to 8. And that is indeed the length of that cardioid if I go all the way around the curve. So I had to make a small adjustment here because of the symmetry. I was able to go ahead and only integrate over half the cardioid, double the length, and get in the correct answer that way. And that's how it's done.